podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I want to be like you. Come on, man. I'm the face of boxing. Make a stand. I'm the cash cow. I hold the records right good.
My job. I know my situation. I want to
WBC production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice Radio #TBV podcast. We are back. I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTO. I'm joined alongside my boy Matthew Hunter, and we're going to be talking a little boxing today, a little Keith, one-time Thurman. The WBC president, Mauricio Sulaiman, has mandated that Keith, one-time Thurman, the WBC and WBA welterweight champion, must fight Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia before Errol Spence. So I'm going to head on out to the Golden State, the home of the hippity hipster.
WBC production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock into a knock out. When the main thing is, I just help the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hipsters here. Haters beware. And it's been a bit. It's been a couple days, and I know in a couple days in TBV world, it's like a month, for the amount of shows we do. But I got to miss some good shows. I know I missed the AJ Ducking Wilder with Gerald Miller's show. I'm bummed I missed that, so definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it yet, because that was a lit episode. But yes, Keith Thurman having to fight Shawn Porter and Danny Garcia before Errol Spence Jr. I mean, first off, is this really news? I mean, we knew this beforehand. I think for a lot of the Errol Spence fans, that fanatic group over there, they got to settle down now, because they have to realize that the sanctioning bodies are making it to where that fight is not possible within probably the next 9 months, 12 months maybe. So maybe fall back a little bit, Errol Spence fans. Maybe find some other opponents. Maybe try call out one of these guys and really push for a Danny Garcia Shawn Porter fight, because Keith is not happening in the near future, and maybe time for the Spence fanatics to move on.
So let me get this straight. You were not shocked by this news?
No, not at all. I mean, this is what mandatories mean. The WBC, as of late, seem to be sort of forcing mandatories more than what they were maybe a decade or so ago, maybe 2 decades ago. So I think that they're going to enforce these two mandatories, and they're going to make sure that Keith Thurman has to fight one of these guys after his voluntary defense in April or May, which has yet to be determined.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, we all know the Saturday night was a big fight in Las Vegas, and Mauricio Sulaiman was there amongst the media. He was questioned, and on the record, he stated that on Saturday, Danny won the eliminator against Brandon Rios, but Thurman has a voluntary because of his injury that he had. But after that, he has to do a mandatory with Porter and Garcia. So,
yeah, not Porter or Garcia. It's Porter and.
And that's why I'm reading it in that manner, to see if you caught on to that, because I ask you again, this didn't come as a shock to you?
No, not at all.
I've never really heard of the WBC mandating two mandatories back to back.
No, but I mean, look at the sport we're in. Like, there's the idea of precedent only goes so far in the world of boxing, especially in the year that we've had recently. In the last 12 to 16 months, we've had and probably the next 12 months we are going to have, a la Mayweather and whatever he is doing. So the sanctioning bodies, the athletic commissions, they always fall back to what will make money. And let's be honest, Thurman versus both these guys were money fights in a way. They were big fights in the division that did good numbers, that sold out venues. I'm not surprised the WBC is mandating these moneymaker fights that they're going to dip their hands into and get a check from. We had Cam Porter on this last Sunday talk about how much the sanction body can get from sanctioning fees. And I've talked about that ad nauseum on this show, that the sanction bodies love to get their check from everyone involved. And these are money fights. Even though, we're going to get to on another show later today, the Danny Garcia, Brandon Rios numbers on Showtime. Regardless of those numbers, Danny Garcia is still a money fight. You put him on CBS with Keith Thurman, he's going to do more than 5 million views again. So it's all about the economics of the situation and what network it's on. And I think Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, and the matchups with Keith Thurman are big fights that the sanctioning body will want to enforce.
And I quote, at the end fight from last Saturday, Porter went up to the ring and challenged, obviously, Garcia. And we're going to see if they're actually going to face each other. But yes, they are the two mandatory challengers. So they're hoping that Danny and Porter fight each other for the right to fight Keith. But why would you do that if you're Porter? It sounds like you're first in line.
True, but we know this sport. In the end, I have yet to see a very in stone cement writing that it's Porter first. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's another article out there from Mauricio Sulaiman. But even then,
Porter's been fighting.
Hold on, very quickly. We know the sanctioning bodies can go back on their decrees or whatever, or whatever statements they can go back on it. That has been a precedent before. There's a track record of that. So if Danny Garcia is the bigger fight, or they see that they can put these guys together while Keith Thurman is resting up a little bit more, yeah, I can see that happening. No matter what, the WBC is going to get their check. That's going to be number one.
The best thing for everyone would be Danny and Shawn face each other in the interim while,
I don't know about that.
I think it's the best thing. While Thurman's having his May fight, let them two fight each other for an end of the year fight with Thurman. Winner gets Thurman end of the year, and then Errol gets Thurman first quarter of next year.
I think best case scenario, one of them fights Errol Spence in the summer. And I think they can even push back maybe that June date to July.
No way.
August. And then you throw the other one with Keith Thurman after his tune-up in the fall time.
But what do you mean, an extended summer or late summer? Because, Earl's already fighting his mandatory or Ulgas in the summer. June 16th.
You don't think they can get someone else? I've yet to see the IBF say that he has to fight a mandatory. Am I wrong about that?
Everyone that knows something has been saying it's probably going to be the mandatory. It looks like they're just waiting on, the word from.
Agreed. Again, I said in a perfect world. We don't live in one.
No.
We're probably going to get a Ugas or a Carlos Ocampo first. Come on. We all know that.
Well, it would be the right thing if it were to happen this way. There wouldn't be a double standard, right? Because one guy would be taking care of his mandatories and the other guy would be too, essentially leaving them both available for a unification further down the year.
The only problem is that we all know that not all mandatories are created equal.
No, of course not.
And Porter Garcia as a mandatory is very different than Ocampo.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, look, I just want to make clear that Porter became a mandatory after he got his knockout win over Andre Berto in the beginning of this year, last year, 2017. Then he also had another eliminator with Adrian Granados in the fall. And now Danny just had a final eliminator with Brandon Rios last Saturday. So WBC definitely keeping one time active. No time for tune-ups, really. Because he understands that these titles are what has him at the top, and he can't afford to let one go.
And let's be honest, I mean, since Keith has won his belt, when has he faced a tune-up? Right? I mean, he won his belt technically against Shawn Porter, right?
I mean, wasn't he elevated already as the WBA champion?
He was elevated maybe beforehand, but his first defense was Shawn Porter, right?
True.
And then the next fight was a unification. So as of this is his first tune-up right here. Is this fight in May or April? I forget what date it is.
Whereas Porter had one with Granados. Not that it's easy tune up. I don't know that most would consider Birdo because of the name value of tune up, but all right. Danny had Samuel Vargas.
At least a stay busy fight.
Whatever you want to call it, man. So anything you want to add to this before we jump out to the line?
No, just make sure you guys tune in for the other shows we're going to do after this, because we're going to come back right away with numerous shows.
That's right. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and also click on that bell notification so that you can get those notifications every time we go live. We did another show earlier to cater to our UK audience. You can head on over to theboxingvoice.com/videos and check that out. You can come right here to YouTube and click on the podcast playlist and receive all of our most recent episodes. Remember the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. We're going to go out to the sponsors and we'll take some calls.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
We're going out to Ron in Oakland, our mastermind. What's going on, Ron?
Hey, what's going on, man? I missed the earlier show. I just wanted to just say that I do feel like there's a big hypocrisy on that, but you guys already stated everything I needed to say about that. So, but for the Porter and Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman, look, I understand everyone wants the Errol Spence fight. I truly want the Errol Spence fight. If Keith Thurman goes, does his little tune-up, and then goes straight to Porter, and straight to Garcia, and then goes to Errol Spence, I have no complaints. If that's how it's directed. I honestly feel like the Garcia fight may not need to been like mandated like this, but hey, he's been gone for a while. He needs to defend the belt, so I get it. It's like a catch-22. And plus, he has the WBA. I don't know if that sanctioned body has mandated, but these belts, it sucks because they do need to get their sanctioning mandates out, but it's just kind of part of the game. But if he goes that route with his tune-up, goes to Porter, then Garcia, and then Errol Spence, man, then I have no complaints. I have no complaints. That's it.
All right, Ron. Well, thanks for calling in. Matt, I want to just let in the chat, Milwaukee Buck says IBF said next fight is mandatory defense and order the purse bid for Ocampos tomorrow if the deal isn't reached. He also came back and said that Keith won the title against the Ghost Guerrero, then defended it against Collazo, then fought Porter, then unified. I highly doubt he won it versus Guerrero.
No, he did.
He was already the WBA regular when he fought Chavez. He got elevated, so that makes no sense. So you mean he defended it versus the Ghost, probably?
He defended against the Ghost. He was elevated, and then he fought Luis Collazo. He is correct. I was wrong. It does happen.
So his next thing was, no tune-up fight?
Do you think Luis Collazo is a tune-up? I mean,
I don't know. I guess that's what he's trying to insinuate.
I mean, if you think anyone in the top 10 is a tune-up, then I think we can have a disagreement there. But I don't think anyone in the top 10 should be deserving of being called a tune-up.
All right, let's go out to TC.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Matt, where were you earlier, man? We missed you, bro. I heard you were, moving?
Yes, I am in the process of
first, man, before you start doing all those selfish moving things, man. Need to have you on the show.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Don't worry. I'm here right now. I'll be here for the rest of the week. Don't worry. I'm still in the process of moving, but don't worry. I'm here.
But the point I need to make is it's the WBC, though. It's all very wishy-washy, isn't it, really? Like, okay, it's the green belt and we hold the WBC.
Speak into the mic, TC. You're going in and out. Speak into the mic.
So can you hear me?
There we go.
Way better.
Yeah, so the WBC are very wish-washy, man. It's like I don't hold them as the top governing body anymore. It's like how can you have two mandatories? Two, how the hell did Golovkin get mandated to fight Canelo as the mandatory when he was a belt holder? And however he did that, we need to get Spence on that shit. And I just don't know. They just seem to have rules upon rules. The IBF seem to be the only governing body that actually have rules in place, i.e., you can get a dispensation and you can fight a voluntary or you can fight a unification. If not, you have to fight a mandatory. You get stripped if you don't fight your mandatory. But the WBC, I'm sure if you can put in like little brown envelopes here and there, you can get whatever you want and you can do whatever you want. They just don't. They seem very corrupt to me, man.
TC, don't forget to subscribe. We'll be back all night long. We're going out to Texas.
Before we go to Texas, I just want to add something in TC's point because I'm from a different generation. I'm young. I'm 23 in a week. So I did not grow up with the idealization or romanticization of the WBC. That does not exist in my eyes. So when did we ever think that one sanctioning body does a better job than the other?
No, like, if they all combined, they would do a great job.
No.
IBF does like two good things. They definitely mandate, and they definitely have a good thing with the 10-day. The 10-pound weight clause the next day because that keeps guys not trying to weight bully.
My point is that we should never hold any of these sanctioning bodies in a hierarchy. We should judge them all to the same standard and hold them all accountable for the same things as fans. That's what we should do.
Agreed. You all done, Matt?
Yeah, I'm done. Rant's over.
Okay. Tell the truth. Let's get out to JD in Texas. Talk to me, JD.
Yo, real quick fact about the IBF, why I think they full of shit is because they got guys like JoJo Dan fighting for the title when he can never do that shit for the WBO, WBC. You really got to be ranked. I don't know what's up with their ranking system, but it sucks. That's the only complaint I got about the IBF. That's why I can't respect their title. Other than that, I keep saying this shit about the impatience of the Spence fans, but hey, Keith Thurman been through that, man. Like, we was waiting on this dude to get a big break for a long time. I know y'all remember. And he finally got a big fight with Shawn Porter and then another big fight with Danny Garcia. But the impatience of these guys, man, it just blows my mind. Because when Thurman was like that, we were just waiting on the big shot, and I just think that's what, they got their big shot with Kell Brooks. So it just
that's the thing. When Thurman Thurman was the guy, no one really believed it, right? Like it was like, yo, Thurman needs to get his shot to prove it. And like, nah, Kell Brooks the number one welterweight already. They had their mind made up because he beat Shawn Porter first, and that was rightfully so. He beat Porter first, But then, Keith kind of trumped him with the win over Garcia and Porter.
Exactly. But as far as the WBC goes, man, I mean, it sucks. It's the part of boxing that sucks, but it's politics in boxing. That's the business part of the game, which sucks. But hey, at the end of the day, we're gonna get two more good fights, I guess. hopefully one of them motherfuckers get knocked smooth the fuck out, and I'm hoping it's Shawn Porter. Because I am sick of them dudes talking. Like, the delusion is real. But,
what you mean delusion?
And then, you know, hopefully, man, them dudes are delusional, man. For some reason, they think everybody's scared to fight them. You know, you ever realize that for the past 4 or 5 years, everybody from Mayweather to Mike Tyson is scared to fight these guys.
And they said the industry is protecting.
But wait a minute. Let me
back up JD. Come on, let me back up JD very fast. They definitely said that the industry is protecting Spence. How can you say that when the motherfucker went to the UK under 20 fights and fought for a world belt? Come on.
Yo, but
wait, first of all,
Porter never had it easy.
Let me go back to this past. Yo. Let me go back to this past weekend. They for some reason think that a guy and Keith Thurman, who's already been in the ring with them, is scared to fight them again. Like, what the?
But wait a minute. Like, why don't they have the right to feel that way if they feel they won? They feel they won that fight.
They also thought they beat Kell Brook. I mean, the delusion is real. I mean, come on, man.
I hear you. All right, brother. Well, let me get to some other callers, JD. We're going back out to Ron, our mastermind. Looks like he called back in. You know, he gets that boomerang status. So, Ron, did you want to speak again, or was that you just disconnected and getting back?
No. I had a few things. I think people forgot about the whole IBF ranking system when Shawn Porter was the champion. And then when he fought Kell Brook and he lost, where did he go from that point?
He got dropped. He got dropped under the top 15, and that's why they have a personal vendetta against the IBF.
So exactly. So how do you go from being the champion to not even being ranked the top 15? Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Shady politics.
Considering like the WBC is like, all right, Porter. Exactly. And then Porter on his end, he's like, all right, let me do the mandated stuff so I can be the eliminator in this fight, the silver, WBC silver, this shit, that shit. And he's still, you know, waiting. I don't blame him for being
$250,000 later, according to his dad.
Yeah, all these fights postponed, waiting. You know, so that's why I understand why he's probably like, I'm not afraid to fight Spence, but I put so much work to try to get back in his position. I'm not just going to just not get that opportunity, which he deserves. So, like, he's not going to go back to the IBF and try to fight Errol Spence and maybe get fucked out of that ranking even more, on top of the fact that he'll get fucked in the WBC ranking. Like, he knows the politics, and I get it, you know? I don't blame him, you know? And like seeing with like the Errol Spence,
I think they knew what they were doing. I think they knew what they were doing. That's why they made all the fuss. Because look, right away now the president is mandated, and if you watch the interviews, Porter asks Thurman. No, excuse me. Thurman says WBC ain't mandated, and Porter then asks Thurman, "Is that what you're waiting for, to be mandated?" He said, "You're damn right." You know what I mean? But let's still keep in mind that Keith really wants to make the choice. I think that the choice is Danny, because in his words, Danny is easy work. Instead of Porter, who many callers feel like JD is delusional, but Porter understands that he gave Keith a very tough, rugged fight. Did Keith win? Fine. But it was so rugged and tough that Porter questions whether Keith wants to do it again immediately. That's what JD needs to think about. Listen, Ron, let me get to one other caller here. Ben, thanks again for calling in. We're going to TDP in Rochester. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, Ron. What's up? Talk to me. Talk to me.
Oh, no, that's it. That's it.
All right.
That's all. I just had to get that out.
Perfect. I thought I caught you in mid-sentence. No doubt. Matt, wake up. You missed it. We were on fire over here. It was Liddy in the morning. I'm telling you, B.
I'm bummed. It's
all good, man. You know, it's all good.
Smoke weed every day.
You shouldn't have fell asleep. You know what I mean? We're going to go to Leno in the Shy. Talk to me.
What's up, Ness, man? I'm calling because you know, the stuff that these Porters talking about, man. You know, I remember when Keith called out Shawn Porter when he beat Devin Alexander for that IBF strap, and they turned him down. They said they wanted to build up that fight. Now, my defense for Keith is, you know, they already beat you, and I think they beat him soundly, man, to be honest with you. You need to go and fight for another strap and another sanctioning body because you already lost. So you go to the back of the line, and you're not fooling us boxing fans. If you want to be honest, man, the Porter win over Granados and Berto is not more impressive than what Danny just did to Rios, to be honest.
Why?
And the Danny fight is more money and a bigger fight. So I'll just do the rematch with Danny, then fight Spence if I'm Keith. But you know, what do I know? I'm just a boxing fan, though.
Lano, man, you're one of the best boxing fans in the world if you found this show. Thanks for calling in, Lano in Chicago. Matt, final thoughts on this for me basically are going to be, I guess, a round of applause for the WBC, even though right now they're taking some heat from a lot of fans because they're mandating 2 mandatories. I'm going to still give them a round of applause because I feel like at least they're going to get the ball rolling. We've seen the reluctance from Keith Thurman in this Saturday's media events. He flat out told Shawn Porter, they haven't mandated me. He's waiting for that. You know, he says, I got options. You know, he feels in charge. He's feeling himself, and I'm happy for him because I know that there were a lot of people that thought he wasn't the #1 welterweight. And now whether you believe he is or he isn't, he's in that position, and everyone else has to wait on him. So I say to you, my friends, what up, Matt?
You play turn up. You know.
Oh, I should probably turn that up a bit. Let me see.
Kind of low.
Did that play off better?
Yeah, it was better.
I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NestGTL. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Head on over to patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice to catch up on all the behind-the-scenes footage with Deontay Wilder as we embarked in a camp life. And we will be dropping our One Face, One Name, One Champion documentary Friday. First episode comes out Friday. Shout out to Mickey Caparelli. Shout out to Enrique Church at Fight Talk and at Mickey Caparelli on all forms of social media. Take it away, Mateo. Oh, actually, we got a call, and it might be my man from Atlanta. But go ahead, Mateo.
Final thoughts. I mean, this is the news, really, to me. It's just a reaffirmation of what we know, what the landscape of the top of the welterweight division is, who's going to be fighting who for the next 12 to 18 to 24 months. And we know that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford are sort of going to be the odd men out of these top 3 guys right now, and they're sort of going to be feasting on other top 10 names, other top 15 names until they can get a crack at one of these 3 guys. Because let's be honest, these 3 guys are the most established guys in the division. They're the most credible names in the division. Whatever we as the fans or you as the fans want to hate on Shawn or Keith or Danny, they're the top 3. They're the most established. You know, Earl's still sort of the new guy around, even though he has a great win against Kell Brook that we all cannot take away. He is still the newer face in the division and in the sport overall. He needs to face one of these 3 men in order to really capitalize and catapult his career to another level. We're going to be back for another show, so definitely stay tuned for that. Keep your notifications on. And Deontay Wilder, one champion, one name, one face. Episode 1 comes out on Friday. I cannot wait. Mickey Caparelli, Enrique Church, man, God,
notifications on. You don't want to miss that episode. It's going to be bomb.
If you've been watching any of the content that we've been posting in the last, I would say 24 to 48 hours, you've seen the trailer. So definitely get hyped, get pumped, get lit. You know, get something rolled up for Friday, and it's going to be great. The first ever TBV documentary, the premiere of it. God, it should be fun. Can't wait.
We dropping bombs on them like Flex. That's what we doing. Yeah. Listen, we're looking for a new Las Vegas correspondent. If you're into boxing and you have some sort of videography skill or ambition, make sure you contact me or Matt. The door is open and we're taking resumes.
Yeah.
Holla at us. Fucking soundbite happy. Goodbye.
Well, hold on. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram.
Yo,
Peace.
Matt, make sure you give your social media.
You cut me off. I know I've been gone for 2 days.